If you're serious about growing your home service business, listen up. Everything we do at Build It to Sell It is built around one mission, helping contractors scale real companies that are actually worth selling one day. Through our masterminds, shop tours, winner's circles, sales training, and the Build It to Sell It conference, we bring owners together to share what's actually working in the field right now. If you want better systems, stronger leadership, and a business that gives you real options one day, click the link in the show notes and get plugged in.
This episode is sponsored by Service Titan and Zero, your technologies of choice in the trades.
Everybody, welcome back. I'm sitting here with JT Foxx, a good friend of mine. Built a great relationship with him over the years. He's wearing his Richard Mille watch. It's a beautiful watch, by the way. I know I'm busting your chops, but it's beautiful.
It's fake.
JT's an entrepreneur.
You can only wear this when you're like in a controlled environment, because if you walk in the street, you're just going to get killed.
No doubt.
Except in Dubai, though. In Dubai, you can leave it on the pavement and it'll still be there. It's a different culture.
Tell everybody tell everybody who you are real fast.
So I own 84 companies. I do business in 56 countries. I have clients in 104, and really started real estate investing. Then I started sort of expanding into other things, buying businesses. And now we're just really all into AI. And then mergers and acquisitions. So we just cut another deal in accounting space right now, doing a roll up. The idea is to build to sell it. I'm just so amazed if people had the smarts to come to your event, how much more money they could make. And they're just like, I just want to be done to retire. Like, just make a small changes, suck it up for 2 years, create legacy for your clients, for yourself, for your family, generational wealth by getting the exit. Why exit at 2.5 times, 3 times, 4 times when you could exit for 8? It's just, it doesn't make any sense.
Most people at 2 or 3, 4 times aren't even going to exit for that because you're buying a fucking headache if that's all you're getting.
Well, correct.
So like, you're going to sell an SBA loan or a handshake deal, or I wouldn't buy. I mean,
I know you wouldn't buy, but they will sell it to somebody. They'll buy something.
Well, only 15%. If there's 100 companies for sale in a year, only 10 to 15 will actually even sell, and
probably less than that actually.
And only one of probably 500 will ever sell to a private equity firm, 1 out of 1,000.
Well, because they write off their kids' stuff. They have their wife on their salary.
So
they're trying to make a...
It's not a business.
That's true.
It's a
but
job.
They're also
no one wants to buy a job.
They're trying to make the least amount of money for tax-wise. And I get, dump all the things. But if you want to sell, you got to show profits. And I think that's the mistake that people have. And they're not getting training. Like, they know what they know, but it's not what they know, it's what they don't know. And just like they master the trade of roofing, let's say, well, now they need to be entrepreneurs that are roofers or entrepreneurs that are trade people, not trade people being entrepreneurs, micromanaging. I just finished, I have to send it to you, or no, I sent it to you. You should have bought it. It's called Billionaire versus Millionaire Thinking.
The book.
Yeah. Billionaire versus Millionaire Thinking.
Congratulations, Amazon top seller.
I interviewed 4 billionaires for over 8 hours. I changed my life. And you may have said something and it didn't register at the time. It registered, but it didn't register. Sit down with a billionaire, Jack Cohen, owns 26% of Domino's and pretty much every Burger King in Australia. And he sits down and he goes, you're a dentist. What are you talking about? I'm a high 9-figure guy. What do you mean dentist? Because you're a dentist. You're called in the personal exertion business. You are just so phenomenal. But if you step away, not all my wealth goes away or the money goes in, but it's substantial. So he goes, okay, what are you doing for lunch? I'm like, what do you mean? What are you doing for lunch right now? I'm with him in the morning, right? I had an event. That's why I'm in Australia, an event.
Yeah.
I said, come to lunch with me with a billionaire. I'm like, I have an event. See, you're a dentist, personal exertion. Here's what I did. And I travel all around the world. Canceled my entire event. This is the only event that I've done in December.
So I appreciate you coming.
Canceled all my event in January, and
I told you did too many events. I told you that.
But you know what? What it is
I know you like it, but
but I'm saying, but first of all, what it is here's the difference. Millionaires complicate things. Billionaires simplify. And we have this notion of let's do it all ourselves. We could probably do it better, rather than saying who's the best person for the job. Yeah, you know what? It may cost me 150 and I make 300,000. But most people think, I'm going for 300,000 to 150. What they're not thinking is this. Now with all this free time, I could go get bigger accounts and bigger people, so now I can make $1 million. And all it is, you know what? It would take him too long to train. It would take too long to do it. It's just easier to do better now. And they are dentists. So if you're listening to this, you're dentists. Pick up the book, Billionaire versus Millionaire,
it's funny
on Amazon. And by the way, I changed my life. I wrote the book in a day and a half, 21 hours, and I had it in 3 favor. because it was in my head. And then I said, like, here's the problem. Billionaires think this way. Millionaires think this way. I had billionaires call me and they're like, I know why I'm a billionaire now. And then I had people going, oh my God, this was depressing, because you need something that hits you in the face.
Here's a question for you, right? And I'm with you. I believe there's a different mindset for everything, but everyone listening to this podcast doesn't want to be a billionaire.
It's nothing to do with being a billionaire.
Well, hold on. Let me ask the question. Hold on. There is a different level of thinking and sacrifice. I believe for you to go from nothing to a billionaire, you're going to sacrifice 80 to 90% of your life. That's my belief. Just family. Like,
I talked to the 4 billionaires, and
how old were they? All in their 60s, probably.
70s, yeah.
There you go, in their 70s. Because I know the stats.
70s and a few in 80s.
Most people don't become a millionaire till they're in their 50s. Most people don't become worth 9 figures. Listen, I'm worth 9 figures, and I beat the statistics because I did it before 60.
But it has nothing to do with the sacrifice. It's not about...
No, you got to... Hold on, let me ask the question.
First of all, welcome to... What happened to your other exit show? I told you it wasn't a good name, and now you changed it. You told me I like the name, and now you changed your name.
I did.
Can I have some credit, please? Can I have some credit?
You did. You actually did say that. Hold on here. But let me ask the question. I love you, though.
I love you, too.
The mindset, because these guys, 90% of my viewers never want to be a billionaire. Tommy Mello is going to be a billionaire. He's probably the only guy around me that's going to be a billionaire. I love Tommy. I cheer for him. I want to fucking jump up and down. He does. I do. They want to be millionaires. They want to be worth 20 million, 30 million, 50 million. And I believe it's easy to get to that. I think you'd agree with me on that. It's easy to get to that. And that's what I want to focus on.
Let's go for the statistics. Let's go with the statistics.
Okay.
You know how many 9 figures there are in the world? About 10,000. You know how many million?
You're telling me I'm one of 10,000?
Yes, me and you.
Really?
Yeah. 10,000 millionaire, 100 million. On Instagram, there's 20 million, though. How many billionaires are there in the world?
I don't know.
2,800. We have 8 billion people on this planet. You know how many millionaires there are in the world?
I'm going to say...
Out of the whole world, out of
150 million, 300 million.
63 million.
Oh, so I wasn't too far.
Okay. The point
it's
that I'm...
easy to become
I know, but here's
millionaire.
the thing, too. The point is not this. It has nothing to do with it being a billionaire. It's just if you are working in the business, you're not working on the business. So I will tell you this. You may not want to be a billionaire because there's a certain point of risk or not. But the way you're running your business right now is the way the billionaires are running their business.
100%.
That's the point I'm trying to make.
That I agree. Yeah,
so it's
that
not about,
I agree.
The book is not about becoming a billionaire. It's about let it go, get the right people, get out of the way, get the system. Just like when you enter office, you got, TVs with stats and everything. That's what they do. So it has nothing to do with
I
the
agree
figure.
on that. I agree on.
For example, the billionaire be like, hey, I can buy this and it's going to cost $200 million. I'm all in alone. That's that nature of it. But what I'm trying to say is the millionaires, we make it by working hard. You can become a millionaire by outworking and working on the right things. Spend 100% of your time on the 1%. But here's the point. You know what the billionaires do? They let 100% of the people work on the 100%. So they can then go and work on something else for 100% and give it away and move to the next thing.
Listen, I tell everybody, I became a millionaire for one reason. Only one reason I became a millionaire. I outworked everyone. I did nothing special. I never invented anything.
But you worked on the right things.
I did, but I just outworked.
There's a lot of people in this conference who are working maybe 6 days a week and 18 hours a day.
I don't believe that. I think if you worked 6 days a week for 2 years straight and you actually worked for 15 hours a day and you don't blow your money, at the end of that, you'd be a fucking millionaire.
Well, hold on one sec.
Impossible.
Hold on one sec. What if they don't quote the job well? What if they get in and they
that's
my point.
Well, that's why you come to places like this and you get educated and you hang out.
Yeah, but you know what? Here's what I don't like. I'm seeing people outside and bullshitting and stuff like that. They should be in that room. Do not print the schedule because number one, everyone they're in that room, they're going to learn something. They can talk to these people anytime they want. They should be in that listening to you, listening to Bill, listening to the people. So you know what? All the nuggets, and I've been backstage listening. The nuggets are there. The room is half full because everybody's outside.
Well, the room's half full because it's Friday at 3:00. I mean, there was been 1,000 people plus in there.
Thank you for my 4:00 spot.
But
you know what? But it was 1:00 when I was backstage. It was 1:00. But that's my point is that you should be in the room.
They should be in the room.
That's my
agree.
point.
I agree. Listen,
right?
The beach doesn't make you money, but it's Friday afternoon. It's been a long 3 days
That's an
down here.
excuse.
It is, but listen,
But what is one nugget? How many times you sat in my event in the room?
And you said I sat there. I sat there in the back.
I sat there in the back, and you learned and you stuff like that.
Of course, because I'm a constant student state. I'm a different person. Like listen, I learned from that little boy I was just interviewing. I learned from everyone. But I'm different. I have no ego.
No, you don't have an ego. I'll give you that.
I don't have any ego. I just want to learn. I want to win. I want to work. I mean,
yeah, but here's the thing,
my mental health is too much important to me.
But you know what? If I meet somebody else, this is what I do, right? I meet somebody else. You know what? Let's touch base next week. Let's get up on a Zoom. Let's get on a phone call. The success is in that room. The people that are on their stage, the people are doing it. The people outside the room, that's the problem that I have, because the winners are inside the room. They learn, they want to better themselves. You don't listen.
I'm with you. I agree with you. Listen, you're never
so next year at the conference, no publishing a schedule. Because you know what?
Bill,
what if I don't know? What if I don't know a speaker? And you know what? That guy may be worth, like, nobody knew who you were at my event. And what if I had put Lance Bachmann, like, I never heard of that guy. People are not taking Google what he's done, or he's a roofer. I'm not a roofer. They don't understand that the concepts that you teach everywhere. Winners stay in the room. And if you meet great people, by the way, they had last night to network. They have tonight, but some people are leaving early, so they could stay tonight. You have lunches. You have a giant room. You're providing lunches anyway, so no one goes anywhere. That's the thing. And that's why I don't do it, because I tell people this. Yeah, you're not in roofing. But Lance is an entrepreneur.
What did you think? What did your people think about me last year when I was there?
Oh, phenomenal! They thought it was phenomenal. First of all, the authenticity, and also too the second chance. And a lot of people don't get. You're very transparent about your past, which I didn't know. And they're just like, just coming to the conference and wearing a suit. And so what I gotta do is I go on stage. I'm gonna wear your little shindiggy, right? And because you said,
I put a tie on for you.
That's my point. You wore a tie for me for the first time. You know why?
Yeah.
Because it was my environment. So this is your environment. I'll wear one of those things there because that's what it is. Here's the thing.
You're my friend. You asked me to wear a tie for a tie. I'm not being rude.
I was supposed to leave. My speaking spot was 3:00, right? And initially it was my birthday yesterday. So that's why I couldn't make it. And then I was going to go overseas. Then I did. I said, I felt bad. I'm like, Lance came to my conference. So I said, let me come. And you had asked me a year ago. And so I'm at 3, and then, you picked a place where you have to drive an hour to the airport, and then the last flight out was 7:15. I used to live here in Fort Myers, right? Rather than Orlando at 9:00 flight, and I could have left at the Vegas. But point is, I got a meeting tonight to meet Dana White, right? AI, stuff like that. Mar Lopez. Tomorrow I'm going to ringside, and he's going to be gambling at Red Rock, show up at Red Rock, right? So that was the surprise, going to go in there and meet people. And, message, and then the schedule has been printed on the damn things or whatever, right? I mean, I would have moved it for you, by the way, for the record, if it was the other way around, because I was like, you're my friend, and also you're really not getting paid. So it's just like, but you know what? Whatever I said, and I just had to cancel, and hopefully I'm able to do the relationship. But it's really hard to build a relationship with you for anybody here, because you got everybody all year round. Everybody wants to talk to you. I know how it is. This is not the event if you build a relationship with Lance. He's nonstop on the podcast and this. He's getting text messages. Everybody, his team is this, the middle event. This is to show you're present and you're here. And then you go to his office or his mastermind or do whatever.
Yeah, I tell him, listen, the guy came over.
But the point is this, I picked you over Dana White.
I appreciate
but
that.
By the way, I would make that same decision because you came to my event. And people don't understand the power reciprocal. Now, same situation, there's 100 people. I bet you 98, 99 people don't make that decision.
Build It to Sell It would like to thank Angie for their sponsorship of our show, one of the premier platforms for all your home service needs. It's great partners like Angie that make this episode possible.
Can't get enough of the Build It to Sell It podcast? Head to buildittosellit.com/podcasts to catch all the latest episodes and learn how to make your business into a money-making machine. Now, let's get back to the episode.
Well, I can tell you this. Someone didn't show up today that was supposed to be here. That's a very good friend of mine.
What was his
supposed
excuse?
to speak. He never responded to us.
Wow.
He was supposed to speak. He's
It's
supposed
happened
to
to
be
me
here.
before, too. It sucks.
And I'm blown away.
Not
And,
even,
a lot of people told me, stay away from this guy. He's a bad character. He's a bad character. He's a bad character. And he's been good to me for like 8 years in the trades. And he's never done nothing to me. And I'm like, I've always stuck up for him socially.
It's also a big event, too. So it's not like a donkey event. You have
there were
1,000 people here.
1,000
people here. So.
Yeah, I mean,
So
you don't show up, and I'm branding you, and I'm helping your brand, I mean, listen, I came and spoke at your event, and there was probably 1,500, 2,000 people there. And it was a great event, and so many people messaged me. And
because I tell my people that. I said, you know what I tell people?
So nice.
You know what? It doesn't cost any money for someone to like and to follow and to make a comment. It doesn't cost anything. And I notice everything. I see everything.
Yeah, your people post. They're so nice.
Because the
point
point,
in my office, and
because
it's
add
like
value
here, and I'm like, wow, you just didn't show up. And
it's class. It happened to me one time. Like, so the problem is that
it's the first time it's ever happened to me.
Well, you know what? In celebrities, we just finished our big conference. We had Kris Jenner, Charlie Sheen, Kramer, a bunch of billionaires, John Paul DeJoria, David Grutman from Miami, the king of Miami, and stuff. It's a big name. And I used to like talk to people, it's like celebrities, and like, yeah, I'll come for free and stuff like that. And then like a week before the event, 3 days before the event, like another gig comes up or somebody else gets paid or because then I get paid. So you're like, you can't get mad. And so I just pay people to make sure they show up. You had Jesse Cole because of me. By the way, story about Jesse. He didn't want to come. The dude just got into a massive thing. He is crushing it there. I don't know. He's rolling into the money now. And he's like, JT, I just don't do it. And I said, my last gig, $250,000 I got. I didn't want to do it. I've been away from my family. This is a time like I'm just, traveling all over like you. Like I don't, you know what I mean? Yeah. And also when I go in there, I'm in that mindset. I do the research. Like he's a genuine guy. And I said, do me a favor. It's for a friend. And he goes, okay. Because he came to my conference in 2021 and I had him on my show in 2020. And the guy was struggling. He was great. He was great. The energy is great.
Energy. Oh my God, dude. It's almost like he's a fucking actor. Like he's great. He's an entertainer.
He's, you know what? He genuinely doesn't care about money.
I really believe that.
100%. He doesn't care. He told me, and I believe that. He said, I don't know how much we make. I don't know how much we bag, and I don't care. He doesn't want to disappoint people. I have the same thing. I think he takes it a little bit higher extreme than the average guy. Because I do, I do like to have an ROI.
Piece of advice. You're in a bunch of businesses. You've had failures because everybody's had failures.
Yeah, I wrote a whole book about it.
Are you afraid of failures?
No, I wrote my first book. I wrote this year. I wrote 3 best-selling books called Business is War. You learn more from failures than your success. I think the mistake that people make is how you started your roofing business. The market has changed. Marketing is a bigger part of it. Social media is a bigger part of it. The integration of other parts of your companies. And, the old model is let me hire a bunch of people. And now just like, let me subcontract a bunch of people. Like the model has changed when you first started.
100%.
And what I would want to know from Lance and anybody else is, okay, what mistakes did you make? What were your recent mistakes? Don't do this. Don't pay for this. Don't hire this. Like all of these things. Stop asking people how they did it. Even me, when I first started, I made my first million at 24, second at 25, first 10 million at 28, 100 was 33, and now obviously very high net worth. And I said, what I did wouldn't work today. First of all, real estate is dead. D-E-D, dead. Dead. I know you buy a lot of properties and buy and hold. You have a different model.
Yeah,
most
I hold
people,
all my properties.
Right? But most people have to start, they have to make the money now. So
without a doubt, most people do not have the luxury of going and buying.
No, you made your money and then diversified.
I diversified. And people say, people are like, how do you own hundreds of properties? I'm like, guys, I bought them all cash because when I sold my companies, I went and bought properties. Like, I'm very honest. Like, before that, when I had one SEO, I owned like 6 properties, 7 properties. And I had mortgages on. I'm like, dude, I never claimed to be who I'm not. Like, I grew up poor. We all do. But when I sold these companies, you're right. I did diversify. And that's why I did. And my financial advisor, great guy, when he's like, you're buying all this real estate with this cash. Why not mortgage? And people are like, you should be mortgaging this and that. I'm like, live your fucking life. I'm going to live my life.
He's a financial advisor. He makes money in commission.
I got 4 kids. I got to leave a lot to when I'm gone.
I'm sure they're fine.
Oh, they are. But
because you don't spend money.
I got to worry about.
What's the biggest purchase you've made for yourself?
Watches. I spent $350,000 on a watch.
Really? What'd you buy?
A Richard Mille watch.
Really?
A Patek. It was $300,000. Patek or Richard Mille. I forgot which one it was.
You know what the funny thing is about buying stuff? Like I got these for.
But I got about $2 million on watches, and I do love them. And I'm not saying they go up. I'm not saying they're assets, but I can definitely probably get $1.5 million.
Yeah, but like when you got the watch, it was cool the first day, but like a year later, is it still cool?
No,
like, that's my point, right?
I never felt happy about buying a watch. I'm going to tell you why I bought my watches, and I told LJ this. I don't wear a watch to tell time. Like I'm wearing this AP right now. No doubt. I'm wearing this AP right now, and it's to let people know what my time is worth. That is it.
Really?
That is it. I only know my time.
You should have worn a Richard Miller then if your time is worth them. Their time's worth more than your AP.
I knew what your Richard Miller was because I know it. Most you know. But a guy walked up to me today and he said, listen, I want to partner with you. My company does $5 million, but I don't want to go to a mastermind. I said, I have my process in place for a reason. Too. I said, if you can't follow the process,
right, because then you're wasting my time.
You're wasting my time. And his wife was right there. And I said, listen, I want you, and I hear your story, and I want to spend 2 days with you like I do everyone else.
I do that all the time.
But for $5,000, if you don't think it's worth it for me to be in a room with you on my team for $5,000 for 2 days, and come and meet us,
Hiring a partner.
I definitely don't want to be a partner with you because it gets way
you're the
more
same thing,
investments. It's way more harder. So like, I'm so transparent about it. I'm like, and I had to put a process in place because everybody just asked for my time.
You end up doing it?
He did. He's coming the April one. He said, I want to be in a January. I can't make. Then you got to wait for April. And I said, my man, I have a waiting list to partner with me like you've never seen. I don't even have an M&A guy. And people are like, how the fuck do you have an M&A guy? Well, you know me. I buy people. I don't buy companies.
Exactly. That's the same thing. I don't invest in deals. I invest in people.
I mean, and
is it 5 million EBITDA or 5 million in revenue?
Revenue.
Oh,
revenue.
So it's like 1, 2.
It's small, but he wants to grow. But these guys.
But here's my point too. I found this.
He was a nice guy. Him and his wife.
You know, 7% of businesses in America don't make over $1 million in revenue. That's crazy if you think about it.
Yeah.
7% only make. That's not profit, revenue. So he hypothetically walks around at 1.2 as a big swinging dick. Like, I'll rock around and make 1, 2. Don't move the needle for me. Don't move the needle for you. But in his world, he's the big dog. But if you're going to enter a new world, just like if you're doing so much more successfully, nothing you say is going to impress them except your character, your integrity, and what you do. Your story's not going to impress anyone. Nobody buys your story. In fact, people always like to say a sad story. 90% of the people don't care about your sad story, and 10% of the people are happy you have those problems.
I believe it's probably more than 10% are glad you have that problems, but that's a whole nother thing.
People love sharing their problems.
Listen, I want to ask you one final question. You were a millionaire at a young age. Most people never are. What would you say to all these people that are here right now trying to figure it out? They don't believe in themselves. Because there's a time you didn't believe in yourself. I don't care what you say, JT. You're confident, you're brash, you're strong.
I was a stutter from 8 to 24. But
so talk about how did you change your mindset?
But to change the mindset is this. Let's go walk around in this room for people that are outside. Not vendors, right? Because you have a lot of vendors. And go to them and say, are you a millionaire? No. Are you a millionaire? No. Are you a millionaire? No. Why aren't you in the room? Right? Relational capital is more important than financial capital. And it's not what you know, it's what you don't know that's growing. And if I'm in that room and I happen to me and I look up on stage, I'm like, I want to be that person on there. That person's in die. I'm telling you, if I'm doing business with somebody and they're out there all day bullshitting, networking, happened to one of my I had one guy want to do business with me, very, very successful, is worth $500 million. Man, he's like, taking a seat by the stage, listening and stuff like that, and involved, or he's in the green room watching the TV, stuff like that. The other guy's just walking around, stuff like that. And I'm like, and just not being involved. That means you're not learning, because if you're not learning, then you're not earning. So that's what I would do.
I love that. If you're not learning, you're not earning. Fucking, he just dropped a fucking gem for everybody. Pick that up.
So in addition to, it's not what you say, it's what you do. And when you get around successful people and you learn from them and you add value, Lance could literally just, snap his fingers like me and connect you to whoever, right? And you want proximity's power. And right now, if you're not a millionaire, it's because you don't have the right knowledge. You're doing the wrong things.
100%. You were hanging out with the wrong people.
And you may be talking to someone outside. Let's say you talk to some roofer makes $2 million a year. You're brand new. Well, unfortunately, that person doesn't know how to teach you because he's telling you his perspective. He's not saying, you know what, how do we get you to first 500 first? Okay, let's calm down with you're brand new, because going to 0 to 5 million is not going to happen right away if you don't have the knowledge base as well. And so I would learn as much, and I would try to find out whoever those speakers are, to build a relationship, follow them on social media, consume everything, go to the mastermind, get a shop tour. Okay, I'm very disappointed. It's very upset. My event, if you're outside, you're not re-invited. In fact, I had 1,400 people, almost 1,600 people, right? And I tell people, if I see you outside, well, there's other people, speakers on there, that's disrespect. Because those people don't need to be on stage. Guys with exits with 500 million. I got to connect you with some guys on podcasts. Rich Galgano sold his company 3 times, $485 million. Another guy, a Quest Bar, $1 billion exit. Like, they don't need to. And they had to fly. A guy, I got to connect you. His name is Gerald. $100 million in EBITDA in HVAC, electrical and plumbing.
God damn.
$100 million in EBITDA a year, came from Africa with nothing, right? I got to introduce you to that guy. So that's what we do, relationship, connect. And you know what? They didn't have to come. So it is goddamn disrespectful when these people who are not getting paid, who want to give value, who should be with their own family, should be in their own business, and they come to learn, and you're being a circle jerk outside and not being inside the room, that's where the opportunities are. And I sat there and I listened to every single one of them. And I'm like, wow. And you know what happens? They message me, wow, what a great audience. Get the energy with some of the speakers. Because you know what? I know you, so I really don't care. But if I'm at your event and I came in there and see half the room is full, I'm walking around, I'm like, you know what? That's disrespectful because those people don't need to be here. And that's the lesson, respect. Because if someone said to me, hey, I'm not a roofer, I'm not going to learn from Lance, I've never heard of him. I said, you know what? That's your problem. He's a friend of mine. And he flew from Philadelphia to Los Angeles. And he doesn't like leaving his house. It's very clear. And he came to the relationship for me. I easily could have gone to his house, but I asked him a favor to come to my event. So you know what? You're going to sit in the room and you're going to learn. And you know, people said, wow, I'm glad. Because it's not about the roofing. It's the mentality. It's the mindset.
I agree with you. Listen, I always wondered myself, why do people pay all this money, go to these conferences, and they don't sit in the room?
It's kind of your fault, though.
It's my fault. It ain't my fault. Listen,
it is your fault.
I don't tell people what to do.
But that's the problem. You need to lead them like you lead everybody. Because you know what? You're a leader. That's where you're wrong.
Anyway,
because you know what? You want
JT,
everybody to become successful,
JT,
Lance.
I'm going to disagree with you. Listen, this is my thing. I'm 52 years old. I'm going to say this to you point blank. These people are fucking grown-ass people. If they want to go outside and play fucking pickleball, circle jerk, do whatever they do outside the room.
I don't give a fuck.
I'm not telling
Have
you
ever
what
thought
to do.
about trademarking that?
I just, listen.
You know, I find myself saying that sometimes. I channel you.
I'm not going to tell people what to do. I'm going to provide you every opportunity to get better. What you do, listen, they're doing it to my sons. My sons have every opportunity to be the best at what they want to be. They got to want to do it. If these people here don't want to get better, it's on them. I believe the majority of these people want to get better. I believe the majority of people.
Yeah, but want and will do is a different story.
I'm not going to tell somebody if they've been in a room for fucking 2 days straight and you want to go sit.
My event was 5 days straight,
I know.
16 hours a day.
It's a cock contest, brother.
No, but I'm trying to tell Lance that I know the impact that people have when they listen to you. And I promise you, and you wouldn't have cared whether there was 10 people or 10,000 people. That's not the point. But I know sometimes when you listen to speak, a story like you who went to jail and his life was thrown away, didn't know anything about marketing and build it. Because if you ask the people, they think of you as a roofing guy. They don't know the whole backstory because it seems far away. And my point is this. You know how many people said to me, thank you for not publishing the schedule, because I never would have gone to listen, because I just want to listen to what I think I want to know. It's not what they know. What they're listening in that room is thinking they know.
You don't want the schedule. Listen. Thank you for being here, brother.
I'm taking over. Welcome to the JT Foxx Show. We have Lance Bachmann
here. Let's go. Come on. Let's go. Thank you for being here, brother. Let's get a picture.
If you're serious about growing your home service business, listen up. Everything we do at Build It to Sell It is built around one mission: helping contractors scale real companies that are actually worth selling one day. Through our masterminds, shop tours, winner's circles, sales training, and the Build It to Sell It conference, we bring owners together to share what's actually working in the field right now. If you want better systems, stronger leadership, and a business that gives you real options one day, click the link in the show notes and get plugged in.